You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. Oh, when you need a heavyweight champion of race baiters, I mean, who else would you call besides Jamel Hill? Bomani Jones. That's right, from the Marxist ESPN of China. And how would you get Bomani Jones' racist musings out to everybody? Of course. Put him on the Dan Le Batard show. Ta-da! You've got a concoction of assholes hating on white folks. And here we go, because obviously, really and truly, everything going on in the NFL has to be about skin color, right? Well, Bomani Jones said white people are the problem. Okay, let's get to this, because, I mean, we surely wouldn't expect this douchebag to say anything less, right? Bomani Jones emphatically says white people are the problem in the NFL. This is bro Bible. I mean, good Lord. Okay. The reactions to Brian Flores filing a lawsuit against the NFL and 3 specific teams alleging racism in hiring practices have been aplenty. ESPN's Bomani Jones offered up what may be the boldest reaction yet during an appearance on Dan Le Batard's show. Jones believes that there is a problem in the NFL, a major problem actually, and in his opinion, that problem is, of course, white people. God damn. Le Batard asked Jones what has to change in the NFL, what can change, what won't change. It was the what won't change part of the question that led Jones to start talking about, quote, white people. So I guess white owners are about to be forced to sell their teams to people of color, because that's the only people now that are qualified to own teams. It's somebody of actual color. Is that what we're saying here? All right. Quote, I just don't know why people try to make this far more complex than it is. Jones said, what's the problem? White people. Well, let's make this not so complex before we go any further, Bomani Jones. What is it that you hate? White people. There you go. I fixed it for you, Bomani Jones. Jones did try to get his point across that not all white people are causing these issues in the NFL, but then he continued to use blanket statements like, quote, white people and y'all. Who's y'all, Bomani Jones? Quote, now, not every single individual white person, but in the macro and the aggregate, Jones stated, who are the ones making these decisions? White people. Who are the ones that won't change their decision-making? Question mark, white people. Who are the ones that not only do anything in a different way when it comes to these matters at threat of litigation? White people. Y'all, all the ones that know these white people. Y'all the ones that be hanging out with these white people. Okay. Y'all the ones that know the ones that pretend to be such good people and then make all the same decisions as everybody else. How about you quit speaking in riddles and use some proper grammar so somebody will take you fucking seriously, you GD moron. Okay, so let us just take a look at Flores's lawsuit, okay? Let's just say if you look at the Dolphins, what exactly in all of that leads him to believe that there's a racial issue there? I mean, let's just say Stephen Ross did tell him, I want you to lose games and I'll pay you a $100,000 bonus to do so. Is that a problem? You're damn right that's a problem, okay? Because you got bribery issues there. Legally, no shit. Stephen Ross may be allegedly in some real trouble there. You got gambling, because that's what the NFL has now hitched itself to. But nowhere in there do you have a racial issue. One's got nothing to do with the other, and I don't think that proves anything. Also, by the way, guess who was highly involved with the decision to remove Brian Flores? General Manager Chris Grier. Well, what is Chris Grier? Who is Chris Grier? Chris Grier is a black man who happens to be the general manager, who was also involved in Brian Flores getting hired. You're going to tell me that's going to... That's going to be a hard sell when that thing goes to court. Oh, he's racist. The black general manager? Really? No, I don't think that's going to fly, okay? And you can expect some more black coaches to get hired. Okay? So Bomani Jones, anytime he needs this is one of the weakest possible excuses he ever uses. When he doesn't have something constructive to say, he's going to call in the good old racism white people card and start blaming white folks all over the place. That's what he does. That's what Jamel Hill does. It's what a lot of these wokesters do. It's what he's been doing on Dan Le Batard's show for years. For years. It's got to be all white people's fault. I mean, my goodness, Bomani Jones, that's weak. I mean, again, I think there are two separate issues here. The competitive thing is a problem. If that turns out to be true, that's a problem. But again, these owners are the ones that own these teams. The Rooney Rule is a joke. Nobody should be getting hired based on skin color. I mean, come on. These owners, at the end of the day, it's their teams. They can hire whoever they want, or should be able to. And if they feel that somebody is more qualified than somebody else, I mean, come on. I find this issue with race and these black coaches to be completely overblown. I mean, that is like the most overrated hot topic of the last 5 years. I mean, really? Anthony Lynn. How long was he able to keep a job with the Chargers? Longer than he should have. He was black. I mean, come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. Mike Tomlin's had a job for how long? I mean, come on. Jim Caldwell was hired not once, but twice in the NFL. And guess what? Got a bunch of coaching interviews during this cycle. Heading down a third chance. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Jim Caldwell can coach. But that doesn't make him a slam dunk candidate. Like, oh, that's Jim Caldwell. Let's just hire him for sure. I mean, Aaron Glenn has gotten interviews lately. Eric Bieniemy has gotten interviews. We talked about reasons why he may not have gotten hired, but I guess that's okay. Criminal history, fuck it. Put him in charge of an NFL team. Why not? Well, that ain't got nothing to do with race. That's got to do with having your head screwed on straight. Again, nothing to do with color. These coaches are CEOs of football teams. You can't just put some old Tom, Dick, or Harry in charge of these teams. Why? Because they got to go out and talk to the public. I mean, you don't want people protesting outside your building because of indiscretions that Eric Bieniemy had when he was with Colorado and when he was younger and all over the place. But we should just hire him. Vance Joseph's been in the league. Steve Wilkes. I mean, it was pretty obvious Steve Wilkes didn't know what he was doing. The Arizona Cardinals got a plan in place. They said, oh, we put Cliff Kingsbury with Kyler Murray. There's a connection with that offense. There you go. I mean, come on. Come on. Bomani Jones is weak and he's ignorant. He always has been. When he needs an excuse, call in racism out of the bullpen. And you know what? The mainstream media will eat this up, and Bomani Jones will be brave, stunning, and courageous for having said so. He's a loser. You're a loser. Come on. Think longer and harder about your arguments before you just open your mouth and start running it. It's so ironic this guy calls everybody else a racist. Really? You're sure you're not a racist? Because from where I sit, you seem to hate you some white folks. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.